Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to the channel. Obviously, if you see the title of this video, we discovered Lou Gehrig. I just played the Extreme program, whatever you call it, for literally 16 hours straight on stream. And we did the Conquest, the Showdown, the Moments, and Jesus, man, it was a grind. But with that grind, we got a couple good things. We discovered Mr. Lou Gehrig, but also I have a lot of information to share on to you all about how to complete all of this in the most efficient way as possible. Obviously, 16 hours is a lot of time, and I wasn't even the fastest in terms of like being productive. I could have been way faster if I really focused. So if you're spreading this out over a couple days, I'm gonna give you some good direction about how you can get this done efficiently. Down the moments, the conquest, all of it. We're gonna break it all down on here for you, so you know how to do this. And before we get into this video, just want to shout out to Twitch. We streamed all of this on the Twitch channel. Link will be down there in the description if you don't follow it already. We grind this entire thing on there over like 16 hours. I've been playing since 3 p.m. Eastern, and it's 7:51 of the next day, so you know, mistakes have been made, but you know, we got content here, and I'm a happy man. Also, a debut is going to be uploaded on here on the channel, so if you're watching this and you want to see how Lou Gehrig is, I uploaded the video of the game earlier today. So we should check out that video. Link will be up there. And other than that, I think we'll just get right into the content. So here we go. We go to our player programs here. And you see we got this Extreme program, the Lou Gehrig program. And you go onto the screen, you see tons of packs, players, everything. And there's 3 key components to the program. There's the Showdown, the Conquest, and the Moments. You have to do all of these to get Lou Gehrig. You just have to do one set, so you could do just the Conquest, all the Moments, or the Showdown to get Yelich, or 2 of them for Pearson. I suggest doing all of them, though. I mean, it's a little bit of a grind, the Conquest especially, but I think all 3 of them are worth it. Plus all the packs and stubs. I made like 500k stubs today, and you know, that was a big plus. So let's break down. Let's go through each specific thing, and I'll give you all my tips about how you can complete them the most efficiently. So here's our Showdown Extreme, and take you to the Showdown screen so you could actually see it. I'll even go through a faux draft just to show you how I went about it. So you go to your Showdowns, you go to your Extreme Showdown here, and here it is. And you see there are mini bosses at every single stage, and this is a big deal because you lose one of these, then you have to start over. So it's crucial that you beat all these mini bosses when you play them. Alright, so I just did a draft so I could see all this. And let's break down each stage just so you know what you have to face in each stage. Just so you have a general idea of how you want to approach this Showdown. So stage 1 is a face-the-franchise starting pitcher. That's your Oral Hershiser's, Al Leiter, Catfish Hunter. One of those you'll be facing in this one. Then in the second stage, you're going to be facing a future star starter. So I've seen Casey Mize. I think Jesus Luzardo is one you could face here. So I think these are the future star starters in the second stage. The third stage is seemingly a high Max Scherzer I faced in this one. I think you could face Paxton, who's a monthly one, so another 99 starting pitcher. It's a lot of Scherzer and Paxton in this one, so you're probably seeing these 2. Then this one is a relief pitcher, so I think this is their reliever, John Smoltz, is one you could face here. 97 year old is Chapman as well you could face. And I think you could also face Trevor Hoffman. And from what I'm seeing is, I think, between the toss-up between Bob Feller and Chris Sale. So you might see all those pitchers, and you might be really intimidated. You might be like, oh, these are all mini bosses just leading up to the final, but trust me when I say this, they aren't as hard as you would think. Like this one against Oral Hershiser, yeah, this one you score 3 runs to win it. It might not be the easiest, but it's on veteran, so I hope you can do this. This one is one you definitely have to do. Then the next one against the future star, this one wasn't bad for me either. I think you needed more runs for this one, if I recall, but I think you also had more outs. This one, I think, this is the one against Scherzer, and this one proved to be the more difficult one for me because Scherzer is really good. I think this is on Hall of Fame or All-Star at this point, so it's a little bit more difficult, but you should still be able to do it. Your team will be good enough with these extra gold and diamond players on your team where you'll be able to do the low run amount against Scherzer or whoever you face here. Then this one, I believe you have to get a good amount of runs against the closer, John Smoltz or Chapman and Hoffman. So you gotta crush your fastballs. And then this final one against Sale and Feller, they seem like they're a little harder than anything, but they're just a couple runs, I think. against them. So they really aren't bad. So which one should you play and which one should you skip? I've seen a lot of people skip one or two of these and be able to do it, but also people that skipped them and lost by just a couple. So here's what I recommend. If you're a very good player, if you're a top tier player and you're comfortable with playing under pressure, then you could skip one or two of these. But I still think it's at least worth doing all of them for the stubs and just playing it safe, because nothing's worse than losing this and having to start from square one. If you have the time, I would suggest doing them all. But if you want to be the most efficient, skip maybe this one or the one before as well. I've seen a lot of people do 3 and then skip up to the final. You can do that as well, but again, you probably have to be really good and comfortable at it. You have more outs to play with at least. You got to get a couple hitters to help bolster your squad. But if you're anywhere hesitant, trust me, play through all of them. You might lose in one of these, but that team probably wasn't good enough to beat Nate Pearson anyway. So you should play through these if you're hesitant. Trust me on that. It'll save you a lot more time getting it done in one attempt, going through each mini boss rather than skipping to the final. Trust me on that. You'll probably miss out on the final and have to start all over and you'll regret it. I had like 5 people stop by the chat and say that throughout the entire stream. And then other than that, you know, with your showdowns, I mean, you gotta pick hitters for your matchups. You're gonna be facing Nate Pearson. You have 30 outs this time. So I suggest trying to stack up lefties or hitters who have good attributes versus righties. If you get Mike Trout out of your first pick, you get a prestige player out of first pick, makes it a ton easier. That's the one. Those are the ones you have to win. But if you don't, you might want to consider redrafting until you get Trout, because you'll make these stubs back pretty easily. So if you take a few redrafts, there's no real harm in redrafting until you get like Trout or Mantle, whoever you get to choose. It might be easier for people that struggle with showdowns. You have to be patient. You have to work the pitch count and swing at the pitches that are easy to hit. They're going to throw dots to you sometimes. You should just spit on those. Even if they're strike 3 calls, it's just not worth swinging at it. I've always noticed that being patient on the edge of the zone will help you more than it hurts you, because a lot of times you'll induce double plays, fly outs that just kill outs anyway. And you're better off just being patient and comfortable, waiting for the good pitches to hit, because you'll get those good pitches to hit. That's a promise if you wait on enough pitches. And other than that, it's just your typical showdown stuff. Really isn't too bad. Some people might have struggled a bit, but I think that really might have been the easiest part. Now let's go to our moments. So you look into our moment screen here. We're at the return of Moments Extreme here. You see a whole list of these moments, and I'm going to break down in specifically how I did in these and what I recommend to help you in case you struggle. Let's look at this one. This one you have to hit 3 homers with Christian Yelich, and this one took me a few tries, but it wasn't too bad. The Cardinals pitching staff is poop. They're going to throw hanging pitches for you. Just be patient. Try to fight off the bad stuff. Crush it. Whatever it is. Just, you really have to stay composed. This because you might lose at a couple homers a couple times. You just have to stay calm and wait for your pitches, because the more you try and the more you fail, the more difficult it's going to be. This one I don't think was too bad for many. I even heard some recommend power swinging, but I didn't need to do that. He's got enough power to take him bridge. Alright, so this one is an interesting one. This one you have to hit 4 extra base hits in the game with Lou Gehrig. And the thing with me that I struggled with was with the pitch speeds. It's on Hall of Fame, but I was early on everything, so I was having a tough time hitting the ball opposite field. So what I did, I just sat with the PCI inside, waited for them to throw an inside pitch. I tried to use all of his power to the pull side of the field. Hitting it to the opposite field, he wasn't hitting as many homers. He was just hitting singles through the infield. He wasn't hitting extra base hits as often, so I want to try to pull the ball with him so I get that extra base hit power. It's at Shibe Park. I don't know entirely the name of the park, but if you pull the ball high enough, it's going to go off the wall or over it. So really play that pull side power with Gehrig on this one. This one I don't think was too bad. Again, if you don't get an extra base hit in the first attempt, just restart. Similar to the Yelich one. If you don't get a homer in the first attempt, just restart. Restart till you get a homer in that first try. You just keep going from that point. This one, you have to face Nate Pearson. You have to get 8 hits, 5 runs, 3 extra base hits on Hall of Fame. This one, I really don't think should be bad for you. 8 hits, 3 extra base hits, 5 runs. I mean, it's on Hall of Fame. I get that, but you're going to have a very good squad. You're going to have your God squad. Stack lefties if you are having trouble. Play that righty-lefty matchup. You know you're going to be facing Pearson. Get all those batters that are good versus righties in there, and you'll be good. If you have a batter in there that just sucks versus righties, then it's going to hurt you in this. Make sure you make your lineup perfect for this. Get those matchups for Pearson. But this one really isn't too bad. It's Hall of Fame, 8 hits, 3 extra base hits, 5 runs. It might take you the whole game, or it might take you to the first inning. Then the bottom 3. Oddly enough, I got these bottom 3 done the first time, but these are also the ones I've heard the people struggle with the most. This one especially, you have to get 10 strikeouts, win a game, and you don't give up a homer. This is at Ship It Stadium, so you're against an all home run derby squad. They all have power. It's going to be tough to not give up a homer. But what I did is I pitched with Corey Kluber here. Just because, you know, I was the most comfortable with him. And they're home run derby hitters with not much patience. They don't have much vision. So Kluber has that slurve and cutter. You could expand out of the zone with righties. They're mostly righty batters. I think Griffey and Cano are the only lefties. So you just attack them inside the cutter, or you go outside with the cutter and slurve with your righties. You really have to try to get them out of zone, I feel like. You throw too many pitches in the zone, they're going to kill you. Focus on your pitch repertoire more than you probably would for other moments. Remember, it's Hall of Fame. Try to hit those spots, maybe listen to the suggested locations the game gives. You can't rush through it. Take your time. This one is also one I've seen people struggle with, but I got done the first try. You have to come back down 6-4 against Mariano Rivera. And again, this one's worth trying to get all lefties or batters who are good versus righties. If you're at Yankee Stadium here, so if you can pull the ball down the line over the fence, that's one easy run. You know how Yankee Stadium is, Little League Park, even though it's the old Yankee Stadium. So getting lefties here, I think, is a big deal if you do struggle. But I just used my God Squad. I had Trout, Mantle, all of them, and I might have gotten a little lucky, but I don't think it would be too bad. The big thing with Mariano, he's going to hit spots. Like, no matter what, he's going to hit spots. He's going to throw cutters inside on the hands to lefties. And you really just have to try to be patient with those. Try to practice recognizing those cutters. And don't bite on them inside the hands. You're going to need a lot of them, I think. And you just have to be patient. Wait for your pitch over the heart of the plate. Or maybe just sit inside. If he does throw a cutter over the plate, you destroy it. But you can't swing on it inside the hands, because those are the free outs that'll kill people in this one. And then finally, the MLB The Show's God Squad. This one I think really isn't bad either. It's just a 9-inning game on Legend. And yes, Legend might not be something everyone plays, so I could see people struggling on this, but you're just going to be using your God Squad. And, you know, at this point in the year, hopefully you have a good enough team where you could score a couple runs. Again, you kind of have to focus on your pitching. You're not going to score a ton of runs off you, honestly. You just got to put up enough runs and pitch through the game. If you do struggle on Hall of Fame Legend, though, this might be an issue. You're going to probably have to practice on those high pitch speeds to prepare for this, because it's not going to be the easiest task. I think you face Casey Mize as well, as I did with my squad that I used, so he isn't too bad to hit personally. But other than that, the moments are pretty straightforward, I felt like. I didn't think they were too stressful. I think the pitching one here could be the most frustrating. This one, take your time, think about your pitch mix, get them chasing outside a zone to get those strikeouts. You want this game ending in 9 innings. Also, don't be afraid to go to your pen early. You have a bullpen, you'd have to go complete game. You can bring in Mariano Rivera or Rolders, anyone to get through some innings here. So just remember you can do that. And other than that, I think people maybe struggled in the first couple ones a bit, but they weren't too bad, I think. It just takes getting used to their swings. And then that's the moments part of it. I know some people struggle on that, but there's only so much advice we could offer, because it's just getting used to their swings, waiting for the right pitches to swing at with the moments, and, you know, there's only so much we can really do to prepare for those. This is the real doozy of the video. It's the conquest. The issue with this conquest is all of these missions. You gotta tally all these turn-based missions. And trust me, it looks really overwhelming. You have 28 goals to complete, and it is overwhelming, but I went through the strategy. I got through it pretty efficiently, and trust me, I think going through it this way will save you time. I saw a bunch of people gave up during the night because the conquest was so tedious, and they probably just skipped right away. I don't know, but that's just an assumption I'm making. So I'm going to give you a strategy to go with this conquest, so you don't have to skip and play as least games as possible, okay? So I'm going to restart the map because we just got this done. So here's your blank map here. So you start off here in the middle, and you look at this map and you probably wonder, where the hell do I need to conquer first? Step-by-step order. So the first task is to beat the Twins on the first turn. What you should do is, obviously, you start the map here, go straight down to the Twins. You take their stronghold, you play a game on whatever difficulty, and you win it. That's the turn 1 step done. Go back to our task here. You have the Jays, Indians, White Sox, and Rockies on turn 2. So it's these 4 up here. So at this point, I made a mistake that made it a little bit more difficult, but it wasn't too bad. Where I put my fans, I had 2 extra fans here because I think I stole some fans as well, if I recall. I had some extra fans, so I put them down here for some reason. But what you should do is leave them on this stronghold after you beat the Twins. Go to the next turn, and you're going to move those fans into either here or here. So you can move further out. So what I would do is reinforce one side here with some fans, and then move those fans onto this right one so they're even. And whatever number it is, I'm pretty sure it adds up where you could go to the Jays and then the Indians and then the Rockies and the White Sox. But I skipped out on the Indians. And if you skip out on one, don't make a big deal. You could come back to it later. We'll talk about that after. When you get that second turn done, you get all those games done. You potentially steal fans so you could get more fans on your pile. You then move on to turn 3. This is where things are going to start to get a little interesting. This is where things start to get chaotic because you have, in turn 3, you have these Rangers and the Rays, which are kind of out of the way. And I think you have the Astros in the Nationals. So your gut is probably thinking, how am I going to take over 4 teams in the exact same turn? And trust me, it's not easy, and I don't even think you really can. But what I did was, remember, you can, if you have extra fans, you're going to want to move them to the Twins here. Because this is the furthest down you'll be at this point. If you think about how many fans it'll take to get to Houston and to Washington, it'll be 1, 2. So you put a pile of like 3 fans on one side, and then you could maybe go up to like here, and then go towards the Nationals. So like put like a pile of like 3 or 4, then go right for the teams. You might have to steal their fans again to get more fans on your piles, but trust me when I say that stealing fans is going to be helpful in this first attempt. You need to do the games anyway, and this is a great time to do them. You don't have to do them on Legend, but it makes it easier if you can do them on Legend. It really isn't that hard to do a Legend one if you have a God Squad. These are live series teams, so I suggest doing those whenever you can, just so it makes this process a little easier. Then you just skip out on the Rangers and the Rays, or whatever you decide. I suggest skipping these and skipping the Yankees and Red Sox and the A's and Angels. Save them until after. We're going to go through this map, get as many done as possible, and then we'll restart, and then you'll be able to finish those in another attempt. The main reason we're doing this, because if you go to the top corner here, say you go from here all the way to the corner, you get the Rays, Yankees. Now you have that whole bottom half of the map that is way further than this corner, and you just put all your fans in that corner. How are you supposed to get down to the bottom of the map and get all those done in that same turn? So ignore the top right corner and the top left corner. So the Rangers, Angels, Athletics, and then the Rays, Yankees, Red Sox. You might want to wait on those. Skip on those. Focus on the teams in the middle here. You'll be able to get these 4 done in a couple turns. They're right next to each other in the turns, or the exact same turn. You do them together. Really easy. You just keep on moving your fans down. Remember, steal fans to get extra fans so you get this done easy. You could even potentially simulate if you do it right. Then you head down to the Brewers and the Braves. They'll have a couple territories probably. So again, if you can stack all of your fans onto 2 piles, gradually move down, it'll help you a bunch. Remember, you're going to have to play probably on All-Star to Legend games. The teams aren't great though. So you can win those games. Just if you don't feel comfortable doing a game on Legend, for example, you still go for it, see if you can win it. If you happen to lose, there's really no harm. Honestly, there's real no harm, no foul. Make sure that you try to get these done turn by turn. It'll guide you through it. You'll be able to go from here to the Mets and the Dodgers pretty easily. And at this point is where it might get tough going towards the Dodgers. Going towards the Padres and the Cardinals, just because they have a lot of reinforcements here. You're either going to need to play a lot of games or simulate. So I skipped them, and I would honestly recommend skipping them too. You'll do these 2 on their own very quickly. So there you go. So you get all the way to the Dodgers and the Mets. You get all those games done. You got most of the chunk done. You got that middle portion down. Once you do that, don't reset. Complete the rest of the map gradually. You don't have turn-based things to worry about. Just complete the map like you would any other Conquest map. Gradually take over each spot. Take over the team strongholds. Then bam, once you get that map complete, you have the entire map done. Plus you have the turn-based tasks for a lot of the teams done. You just have the last couple you'll need to finish on your own discretion. And at this point, you just got to reset and only play those games. So I'll tell you how you want to go about going to each one of these. So you'll start off with a blank map here. You want to go over here towards the Rangers, A's, Angels. If you're doing just these two, which I eventually just had to just do these two, because I think I got the Rangers done pretty early somehow. But if you don't, which is no big deal, just play the Rangers, and then just remember to stack your fans on one pile, steal fans so you get more on your bunch, and try to simulate these games. You steal fans, and you go right out here, you'll have enough fans on your bunch to be able to simulate games, which is why I suggested you wait and do these later, because if you try to do this in the first attempt, you would be playing a game here and a game here and a game here. So what you should do is just reset, go through one corner like I just said, get 3 teams done in one attempt if you can, but if you can't, just reset again, skip past the first team, and you can go right around the second team and just keep stacking your piles onto one just to finish that one team. Trust me when I say this, you don't have to play those games where you gradually take over the squares. Just focus on the tasks. You just might have to steal some fans, which again, it's just a 3-inning game, and in comparison to how many other games you play otherwise, it's a lot easier doing it like this and then simulating your way over. You do the same thing with this corner. Exactly the same. This is kind of the opposite direction. Very straightforward. The bottom right corner is where it gets interesting. What I did, what worked out the best, you have 6 turns to get to those corners. Remember, you have 6 turns. You don't have to do that on the first couple, you have 6. If you look at the map, you might be a little confused, like how are you going to get down there easily? But here's what you have to do, just go straight down. Go around the Twins. I think the Twins like to put theirs here. So try to put yours to the right side, and you could go around towards the left, or go around towards the right. But if you go around to whichever team, you keep crawling down. You keep on getting the reinforcements. Try to steal some fans if you want to get an extra amount on there. But I don't even know if you have to. Remember, you have 6 turns. And you could skip some turns and just add those reinforcements, those 2 or 3 reinforcements you get, and keep on crawling down. Again, you don't have to worry about the strongholds. Go around them. You also might want to dedicate a couple extra territories on around these teams here. The Twins like to nip at your little territories on your way here. And it could be an issue because they'll cut off your line, and since they're not connected to a stronghold, you can't add reinforcements. So what I would do is put 2 or maybe even 3 fans here. I would say 2 fans instead of just 1 once you get reinforcements. And here, maybe put like some here, or be prepared to have some extra to come back and play those games. You could just go straight down to the bottom, try to get down here, right around the Mets as soon as you can. Then if they happen to touch them, you go back and you take them back over. Then the next turn, you move those fans, move them all to a big pile here, and just keep on simulating, skipping rounds so you get more reinforcements until you get to the team. Trust me, you can simulate right through it if you get enough fans in the pile. I know I'm not really showing it directly here, but I'm going to try to show some stream footage of me doing it. If you skip the rounds properly, you'll be able to do it. And obviously, I don't want to go through a step-by-step exact process because you're not going to win or play all the same games I did. You're not going to have the exact same number of fans. But this is the best method, I would say, to doing this. You do the main portion of the middle. Then you do the corners that you miss. And trust me, it'll be a lot quicker than doing one set, then resetting, then another set and resetting, because you're going to be resetting the entire time. You could do a lot of them in just 1 or a couple turns. And you might have to play a couple extra games. But you have to complete the map once anyway, so you do that as you complete the map, do as many as you can, then complete the map totally, and bam, you're good to go. The real thing with this conquest, I would suggest taking breaks. Don't do it in one sitting. It was really tedious. It took me like 10 hours doing this damn conquest, and it's meant to take a while. especially doing the specific tasks. So just take note of that. It's going to take some time. You're not going to bang it out right away. Other than that, that's about it. I think I did a good enough job explaining that. If you have any more specific questions about this stuff, feel free to ask in comments. I will try to get back to you. I think the final question that you probably all want to wonder, is this grind worth it? I mean, it took me 16 hours, and I love Lou Gehrig. I got the discovery. It's the first time I discovered a card. I was so motivated to do it. I had to get Lou Gehrig. The thing is, there's so many first basemen, he might not be worth it for everyone, but the hitting attributes are insane. His swing is great. I'll tell you right now, just because it's going to be a lot of time, you might have your struggles, the card is very good. I think Yelich is also solid, even if he's not starting for you. And I think Nate Pearson has a chance to be endgame. And just remember, it's about the long game. Don't try to rush it. Take your time. You'll get it done. Don't worry. I believe in you. If I was able to do this over the span of time, trust me, you'll be able to do this on your own. Just be patient. Stay composed. Try not to get frustrated. The more you get frustrated, the more difficult it'll be. And other than that, I think that's really about all I can suggest. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask in the Twitch channel or in the comments. Links will be down in the description if you want to check all that out. I appreciate you all watching this. I hope you learned something new. Hopefully I was able to help you get through these. Hope I can give you some useful information. Obviously, there's only so much I feel like I could give you with certain things. But, you know, with enough practice, enough of nailing down each moment, they're doable, I promise you. These moments are not impossible. Just be patient. You start to struggle, don't be afraid to hop off the game. Do something else, whatever you feel like, because if you're angry, it's going to make it way harder. I promise you. It's going to be way more difficult. But that's about it. Have a great day. Good luck on your extreme grinding. I believe in you. And I will catch you all again later tonight on the stream. Deuces.